Greetings everyone and welcome to a traditional draft of Crimson Vow. Necroduality. Huh. Well, you would have to be basically blue-black to have enough zombies to make this good. Now this is good if you get there, but this is almost the same as picking a blue-black golden card as your first pick. So I'm not taking that. The best cards in the pack are Upgrade and Reclusive. Taxidermist, and I do like the removal slightly more, but this is really good 2-drop. But removal is important. Opponent can have some bum rays, and some of the bum rays do actually die to the 3 damage, so also a good reason to pick removal in this format, of course. Could be a Welcoming Vampire, could be Halan and Alina. Those are the first two that come to my mind that I would want to immediately kill when the opponent plays one. Alright, so interesting, very interesting pack. Someone took the rare, so I could pick another Aberrate, but there's also a Blood-Tithe Harvester. I'm passing actually 2 Taxidermists, so whoever is to my left, they might just be very happy about these 2 mana Accelerants and have a nice deck. A nice start for a green-based deck there, but what am I supposed to take here? Because, of course, the obvious choice is the Aberrate, but this Blood-Tithe Harvester is incredibly good. That said, I don't know if it's enough better that I should just keep myself at, as flexible as possible. Now, if I was black-red and I knew that, I would take the Harvester. It is the better card, because this is just a, nice beater on turn 2, or any turn. But anyway, a 2-drop creature that has a very good set of abilities. But now, because I'm not necessarily black, I'll take the Aberrate. It can't really go that wrong if you start a draft with 2 Aberrates. And there's nothing that interesting for black in this pack, so I'm happy now. And well, I'm going that route now. If you did see my previous draft, it was a premier draft. That was a red-white deck. Now I'm not forcing anything, but the option is basically take the Celebrant or take the best white card. There are actually multiple cards I'm happy to take here. The Trainee works in red-white just like it worked in the previous deck, but the Minister is the best card. Infantry is definitely a nice 2-drop too. There's a Spore Crawler and a Cadet for green, but let's take the which I think is the best card in the pack. Okay. Well, I don't see much reason to deviate from my path. I'm not taking the Coast just in case I end up blue-red. I'll take the Fearful Villager, which is definitely a fine pick here. I like it more than the Lacerate Flesh, especially when I have already 2 Aberrates for removal. So let's take the red card. I'm not sure about the white yet, because these white cards are not that interesting. The best, I think I do like the Flourishing Hunter quite a bit too, but no reason to pick the non-red card here right now. Yep, couple of white cards. That's a 3rd Taxidermist here. I'm taking it because it is the best card in the pack. I'm not taking the Adamant Will and just try to force the red-white. It is the best card in the pack. I passed 2 of these things, sad, but if green is open to this direction, which is, I can't say it is yet, but there's like a scattered thought, but I don't know if blue is that open either. I just take the green card in here and keep at least my options open. I'm going to play red here. That's like a given here. Alright, so this pack is rather weak. There is a Gift of Fangs, but I'm not, even if I'm red-black, I'm not that interested in it. I could play one, and it would be nice to have an inside board, because this is a best of 3 draft. But I have 2 Aberrates, so the small creature removal isn't that important. I think I'll take the Impulse. It's a fairly weak pack, and I know I'm going to play red, and Impulse is totally a reasonable card to be played. Okay, 3 humans, but one of them is green, one of them is white. So I'm thinking about the Disciple or the Fleeting Spirit. It's actually kinda tough, but Traveling Minister and Taxidermist are both very good. Disciple is quite good too. It's really tough. I guess I'll take the aggressive white drop, but this I mean it could be either one. I haven't identified if green or white is more open. Well, at least in this pack, I'd rather take a white card. But am I going to take something like a Heron Blessed Geist? I don't expect to be playing a lot of enchantments with this thing. And with this thing I do want to be playing enchantments to make it playable. There's a Cruel Witness. I mean, I actually could. I don't like the Piercing Light, especially when I have already 2 upgrades. I will take the blue card now in case blue is the card, one of the cards, one of the colors I should be playing here. Alright, so here it's pretty easy. Adamant Will. I like it more than the Geist. If I end up red-white, I guess I have everything else but black here currently. Vampire Slayer Ceremonial Knife. Don't like the Slayer that much. I think I'll take the knife. Okay, so here, well, there are black playables, but I don't know, maybe just a Pious Bone for my sideboard. I think it's, I put it to the main deck for now, but it's most likely going to be a sideboard card against mostly green decks when they have the 6/6s for 6. This is nice answer to that. Alright, so could take the Spirit Piercing. Okay, actually I just don't like the Spirit Piercing Light. So I'm taking the blue card here. Right, what's it about? I don't know. Let's take the blue. I don't think I'm going to be black. So yeah, I'm well. Now there is a Cemetery Desecrator, which is rather good, but it is a 6 mana 4/4 menace. Very nice ETB and death ability, of course. But it's not like this pack hasn't got other options. This would be my first black card now, especially because I did avoid picking black cards from the previous pack. Now I have a Valorous Stance and Celebrants here, which are very nice pickups here anyway. I would take the Stance over it. I guess the white is more likely color to be and end up in. Yeah, this is good, but I don't really feel like picking a black card here. And I'm by no means forcing red-white because of my good previous draft. It just seems like this is the color combination to be in right now. Hopefully. Okay, well, there's now a bunch of different options. I have only one green though, so I don't think I'm taking the green here. Rich Wolf, Vampire Slayer. I guess I do have a Fearful Villager. Prisoner, not so likely to be played. Oh, I take the Rich Wolf. It's early enough in the draft that I might find more Rich Wolves, or maybe more Villagers. That's maybe a few ways to get the enhanced version of this Rich Wolf happening. So I'll take the Rich Wolf for now. It was a somewhat of a weak pack after all. Alright, so here are the combatants. It was really good in my previous draft, but this is definitely not as aggressive as you can see. I don't have the double strike 2-drops or stuff like that. This won't be as good. So I'm thinking about something else now. Maybe even take the Runebound Wolf. Because if I want to have some wolf synergy, I should definitely pick it when I have it available. The Militia Rallier is a random 3-drop. I can play basically any 3-drop. This is not better than any other option. I think I'll take the wolf here. Maybe I'll find some wolf synergy here. Alright, so here I take the Drogskull Infantry. This does seem to be red-white. Hypnotist isn't good though. This pack is bad for me. This doesn't even create the blood token itself. It's just a 3 mana 3/3 can't block. Oof. I think I like the guy flyer more than the 3 mana 3/3. I don't even have any blood tokens here really. So it's just a bad 3-drop for this deck. I take the Geist and I should cut the blue and green now. And how about this pack? I actually like the End of Festivities as a sideboard option more than the Piercing Light here. Now I maybe could play like one of them, or at least put one in the sideboard and be happy about it. But it's just not such a good card. I'll take the sideboard card. This can be remarkably useful against some decks actually. Alright, so how many non-creatures? I have a bunch, but I'm not sure how many of them am I going to play. So the Frenzied Devils here really isn't that interesting to me necessarily. I could take the Sanctify for sideboard. It's a card you rarely put in the deck, but it's still it's a nice option to have when you actually need it. Yeah, the Frenzied Devil is not the 5-drop I'm looking for. Alright, well, this is a playable 4-drop, and it is a full for my very low amount of Wolf's energy here. Although, with this coming back, I did actually remember when I took this and the Runebound Wolf after that, I did remember I saw this. It was apparently in the pack to pick one. Well, I'm happy it came back. Now I have like maybe enough wolves to make this energy worth something. Alright, so now I got the option between these two, but I think the combatant isn't really not such a good one in this deck. I think I'll take the 3 mana 3/3. It's just the biggest stat line here. It's gonna be better than the combatants. Okay, how about this? There's a dominating vampire, which is not that good when you don't have a dedicated vampire deck. It can be really good in such a deck, but here it's just an easy traveling minister. It's actually just such a nice card. I'm very happy to take. It is the best white common in my opinion. Alright, look at this pack. If I went the Blood-Tide Harvester route, I would be getting another one here. But I would have to have a very difficult decision between that and the Hero's Downfall. Now I don't have to worry about it. I take the Lantern Flare. Maybe I can get the trainee back from pack number. It would be pick number 10. This has a fairly strong set of cards. Although it is the better white card than the Distracting Geist. So if someone is white, well, I don't know. I of course take the Lantern Flare. This is a very decent card. Alright, so now, darn, there's a Celebrant which I really want to have, but there is also a Sigarda's Imprisonment. I feel I might still want to have the 5-drop this time. I have Valoro Stance, upgrade twice of them, and the Lantern Flare here. I just think I want to have this amazing 5-drop common here. Yeah, it's really tough. But I think I take this over the 3 mana removal. Okay, Alluring Suitor, well, they'll talk about an easy pick, and this time it's clearly the best card. Well, in the pack, there's also Diver's Cup, which is amazing, but for my colors, this is easily the best card, so let's take that. And a lot of these Frenzied Devils going on. I have one Reckless Impulse. I should check the Hero of Hope. I don't actually have too many of those 4-drops anyway. It's a fine flyer. The Katars, not really amazing card for this deck, but it's something I could sideboard maybe in. But I think I will start with that thing in sideboard for this particular deck. Now I got one Sanctify. The likelihood to sideboard another in is quite low. I don't like the Lightning Wolf, but I think I like it more than the Weary Prisoner, and this does help with my slight amount of Wolf's energy. I was hoping to get maybe like another Hungry Rich Wolf, but and the 2-drops in general, I might be a bit lacking, or am I? No, I'm not. And I have the Outrage as 2 mana plays in a pinch. Right, so here, Bloody Betrayal sideboard card or the Sealed Passer. I don't really have any training here, so I take this for the sideboard, maybe. Nothing here matters, so I'll take the uncommon. Okay, I'm happy to get a trainee back here from this pack. From where I was kinda. So someone actually took the Distracting Geist over this. I think it's just not a very good card. Well, maybe if you're super aggressive. In my previous draft, it would have been a good card. Okay, uncommon it is. Nurturing Presence, I don't know. Let's put it in the deck. I think I will cut it from the main deck, but it's something I could consider sideboarding in if opponent has like a low amount of interaction perhaps. And if the 1/1 flyer can, maybe against something like a red-green where the 1/1 flyer can actually just keep dealing damage. Okay. And then one more card. What it is? Nothing. Okay, fine. I'll throw this here just in case, but I think it's gonna be cut easily. I'm not gonna throw in the Bloody Betrayal. So, 4 cuts. I don't think I wanna play the Heron-Blessed Geist. I have very few Disturb creatures. That's exactly 1. And no auras. I mean enchantments in general. Yep, I have 1. Wait a second. Oh yeah, there's the Nurturing Presence. Well, anyway, it's not enough to play the 3/3 flyer. You definitely want to have the reliably the option to make the 2/1/1s in order to make this worth the 5 mana. And the Pious Bone is more like a sideboard card, so I'll cut that one easily too. And I think the Weary Prisoner isn't. Yeah, it's a sideboard card too. If this 2/6 defender side of the card is actually useful, so usually against something rather aggressive, maybe a black red or something, then it's okay. But when it's only gonna be good when it's night, it's definitely not a card you are wanting to main deck in that case. So this is actually. So wait a minute, are there some easy cuts now? Because there are some cards I'm not sure about what I want to play, like the Nurturing Presence, the Cathars, and the Ceremonial Knife. Okay, this is actually, I think, a 17 land deck still. And I will play the Knife, it's the most all-around useful out of those. I have 15 creatures, and I'm not going to cut any creatures here anymore, so I'm gonna cut either the Presence or the Cathars. So let's see the creature curve. It is quite low, so the arming thing can be useful. Nurturing Presence can be put on something like a... I mean, how good is it gonna be? I don't really know if I care about it that much. I'm gonna cut the Nurturing Presence and I will play the Cathars. Yeah. Okay, so this is the deck. Definitely not as good as my previous one. And it's gonna be a 9/8 mana with very... I don't know, I guess because I do have the double white spell here, even though it's not something you play often early in the game. Although the Suitor also wants to have access to a lot of red. But then again, I have 2 white 1-drops. Okay, so 9 planes it is then, I guess. Let's use the Mirage. And 8 of these. So this is the main deck. I have like a very slight amount of sideboarding decisions. I might want to have the Pious Bone, the Weary Prisoner against some decks, maybe. And there's the end to Festivities. Not sure about these white cards, if they're ever gonna come in. Alright. Oh man, I have 8 mountains in the deck. I need 2 lands to play the Heron of Hope. I'm on the play here. I think I'm still gonna keep it because I can also draw white 2-drop. I have a bunch of those. Yeah, it's not only about the lands. I have other hits than just lands here. But let's see if I get there. Red cards are of course the worst possible. I think my deck had 11 red cards. Okay, but now I'm not playing the Reckless Impulse now. It would be a waste. So I just try to attack and see what happens, and I have the upgrade up if they have something worth removing and something I can remove. That's... They have the discard hand size. They were on the draw here, so that's only draw 2 and discard 1. So take 2 life loss, make a blood token. Sadly, I don't have anything to pressure them with. And now if I don't draw a land or a creature that I can cast, I will play the Reckless Impulse in that case. So what would it be? Maybe if I have another upgrade or a 5-drop. That's kind of it. Or a 4-drop. Yeah, that was the 4-drop. So let's do this. Hope to hit at least a land. Okay, that is totally fine because this means I can play the second land on the next turn. So that was effectively a draw 2 for 2. And it's... Or maybe it was draw 2 for 4 if I don't get to use my upgrade, of course. Opponent discarded a Forester. Okay, so they can have a 4-drop which can have 4 toughness easily. Like the Hook and Mariner. It is a Ragged Recluse. If they're gonna go for the... Okay, are they gonna go for the blood token? I kinda hope they are. No, they could have a... they could have a Undying Malice. They most likely have it. But I'm not gonna have mana for the upgrade in a while, so I could kill the knife, but let's make them use the malice now. Okay, they really had 5 cards in their hand they didn't want to discard. That's the only explanation for them not doing the blood token thing, I think. Okay, let's play this land that is in exile. Okay, I got the lands I needed. And that's also 4 mountains in what? Top 6 cards. Pretty nice when you keep a hand without mountains. So 50% of the mountains of the deck were in the top 6 cards in there. Now the question is, am I going to play the flyer or the thing that can? I think with the adamant wheel I should play the lightning wolf. I should play the lightning wolf with the adamant wheel. Because it has more power than the flyer. That's of course the reason here to prefer the 4 power guy over the 2 power guy. And it will also be potentially 5 damage. Now the opponent can also just get rid of it because they do have of course 6 cards in their hand. So let's see what they find here. I think my deck had 15 creatures, so there's a good amount of creatures to maybe make the Amdekazars like an impactful card. Hero's Downfall there. Okay, they had removal, so be it. Anything for 2 mana. Hey, more of that stuff. And I can even leave the Adamant Will up this time if they have more removal. Traveling Minister has been actually dealing some damage here in this game. I haven't gained any life with it because of course it's... I mean, unless you are very sure that you are on the defensive, you want to rather attack for 1 than gain 1 life. Even though I could gain 2 with the Heron of Hope. Okay, they have to play 6 for this thing because they don't actually have any thing there. So now the question is, am I going to just go? Because if I'm activating the first strike here, they are not gonna block. I think they might be still trading. I think it's a waste of mana now because I have, plays available here. So if they do block, I will use the Adamant Will. But of course I'm very happy to play the Heron of Hope and the Fleeting Spirit if they just take this damage and maybe they try to make it into night or something like that. But this is now a safe place to use this because they are tapped out. And now even if they do have they could have of course the 6/6 wolf coming up, which I no longer can attack through with the lightning wolf unless I use the Amdekazars. But I have this flyer which I can make deal 3 damage in the air. They are checking my graveyard. Why would that? Well, that's the reason, of course. But now the first strike is actually funnily relevant here, because this, of course, would trade with the wolf otherwise. Alright, this is good. This is totally fine. So I have some ways to... I have the 5 mana 4 for menace, and I have my own knife, so I shouldn't play all the lands. Well, let's first activate first strike and pump the Heron of Hope. And attack for 7. I don't... Well, actually... Yes, I do activate the lifelink because there's no reason not to. I'm not playing the Amdekazars this turn. It seems like a rather pointless. So I might as well activate this and gain extra life because I definitely don't need the mana for anything else. I do have 3 cards in my graveyard, so I could play the Fleeting Spirit and the land to activate the first strike, but I don't think I care. They already have a blood token. If they really want to attack with a scavenger in order to get a extra blood token, this will leave this guy tapped, and I'm potentially just winning with the Amdekazars in that case. So I don't care about them getting a blood token here. Now they have a Flourishing Hunter now, but they're gonna only get 3 life there. I might not have a lethal attack, but I have a attack that might force them to jump block. Alright, so they actually chose to. But funnily, both of my ground guys are first strikers. And I even have mana for them. I have the cards here to activate the first strike for the Fleeting Spirit. So I can make both of them 6 power first strikers. How about that? Even more if I use the Minister, but I mean... Now I'll just play the land here. I'm gonna give +3 on the Fleeting Spirit, +2 on the Wolf, +1 on the Heron of Hope, and then pump someone. The Heron of Hope, of course. They have 1 green mana available, so that could be massive might, but so be it. Anyway, 3, 2, 1. They get also Vigilance. They have priority stop because of the blood token, so. And then this has to be activated now, and this Fleeting Spirit can be activated whenever I want to. And now I should, of course, pump the flyers because that's gonna go through no matter what. And now I'm gonna force some jump blocks there. And funnily, if they, yeah, I guess they should jump block the Fleeting Spirit because they can actually trade by double blocking. But then they will go to 1 life. Anyway, they should force me to use the white mana and exile the card from the graveyard. Otherwise, I could just play the Drogskull Infantry post-combat. If they actually just, yeah, they do that. So now I want to save it. Now, I don't actually have to save it, but I don't feel like it makes too much sense to make the Fleeting Spirit go away and then play the Infantry. It just doesn't make any sense. They might have another Flourishing Hunter because they are going to now to exactly 1 life here. But yeah, let's activate this. Wait a minute, did I have a lethal attack which I didn't realize? No, I didn't. They had the double jump because of course I could discard this with the Fleeting Spirit and then use the 4 mana aura, but no, I didn't have. They had the blockers to prevent any death in that case. So let's see if the first strike happens. It does, and now they go to 1. So if they have another Flourishing Hunter, they go back to 7. And of course they will have blockers on my ground guys in that case. But the Heron of Hope is still gonna win them quite quickly. And they can't really pressure my... If they only have like a removal on the Heron of Hope, then and they need more... I have basically, as long as they are at 1 life only, even the Traveling Minister is a lethal attacker. So they need life gain. Could be another Diagram Scavenger though. But let's see. That has lifelink, but it's small. My flyer is still lethal. They need to deal with it. So now the question is... they are kind of representing either Witch's Web or a Bleed Dry or maybe even another Hero's Downfall. Wolf Strike is a thing, so there's a lot of things they are representing here now. It is tempting to just discard the Drogskull Infantry and play the Aura version on the Lightning Wolf, forcing them to actually just jump block the first striker. Because they need to use whatever they have on the Heron of Hope. Now, attacking with everything is not good, because they do have the Desperate Farmer. They can block Traveling Minister. I can actually... Well, okay, I can attack with... No, it doesn't make any sense. I'm thinking about discarding the Drogskull Infantry to get the Wolf into a 6 power. Then they will basically have to jump block with a Desperate Farmer, I think. I mean, this is pretty maybe weird, but I'm doing it. I'm doing it. This feels like now because they of course will just lose if they don't have the Heron of Hope answered somehow. So I'm gonna assume the Heron is gonna die. And now, because if they have like a Wolf Strike, they can respond and kill the Lightning Wolf here now, of course. But then the Heron of Hope will survive. So that's no good. And this thing having a first strike, of course, means that the Desperate Farmer is only jump blocking. So they have another Hero's Downfall. So what do they have? I mean, that was that. What 1 mana? That's no Witch's Web. What the heck? These don't block flyers. Massive might. No, they There's no green card that works them, is there? They really shouldn't have done that. But nice one, they have 2 of these great uncommon removal spells, but they messed up. I don't even have to do it, but I'm doing it anyway, just to gain the extra life here. 1 green isn't going to... I mean, if I'm missing some relevant card in this format, I don't think I am. So they really shouldn't have done that. Just in order to survive, they needed to use the downfall on the Hero of Hope and then just have my 6. I mean, this would have been 6 power first striker, so double block doesn't work. I can kill this first and then this still doesn't kill my 6-5. So they would have probably just jump blocked with the Desperate Farmer, and then they just need to hope to find another removal spell. And then when they kill the 6-5, they have a 6-6 versus my 1-1. So that was how they could have played the game, but they chose not to kill the flyer there. Okay, so black and green might not have a high frequency of flyers. I still don't think I like the Hero Blessed guys that much, and I definitely don't like the Nurturing Presence because they have the double Hero's Downfall there. But I think I will play the Pious Pawn because that is exactly the card I want to sideboard against the Flourishing Hunter, to have something that can actually match it in combat. So that's the sideboarding thing I will be doing, and I don't think I want to put anything more in. I guess the Weary Prisoner would be like... Nah, probably not. I'm thinking about then the cut. It could be the knife. It could be the arm the cutters, but it was fairly interesting in that game. The Lightning Wolf is quite bad against that deck actually, but I think I will keep it mostly for the Wolf synergy. If I get to, you know, put them to a low life total while being at a high life total myself, I can do some damage with this thing, even if they have blockers available and I want my wolves for that. So I feel like the ceremonial knife is not needed here, but I might change if I'm gonna lose this game now. On the play it is a little bit better than on the draw, the knife I mean. But let's see if it goes to game 3. Well, this is now better 2-lander. I have 3 spells I can cast and 1 land gives me a 3rd one right away, regardless of which it is. And out of these options, the infantry is the one I'm gonna have first. Then, now if I knew there was a land coming up, maybe this trainee in that case. But I'm not sure about that. So, and I might even play the trainee even in that case. But let's see what the opponent does. Of course, that's food for an upgrade. Okay, so I think this time I'm just gonna attack for 2 and forget about the training part because I need a 3/3 to block that thing. Maybe if I draw another land right away. Well, I can just play the Heron, but I can also play 2 of my 2-drops. Let's see. Okay, they get to gain some life. Yeah, I think this is rather easy. I'm getting rid of that thing before. It didn't seem like they have an Undying Malice, so this should work. And then I just play the trainee to be able to train it, maybe even once. And if they play a bigger blocker here, well, then I can play the Heron of Hope and prepare Arm the Qatar's turn for later. That is enough to not train this guy, because I would have to lose my infantry. They would kill it, of course. I don't think it's worth using the Arm the Qatar, although that's it. I can then follow it up with a Runebound Wolf still. So this would be 3. I would be dealing here actually. This would be a 4. I gave this thing +3/+3, this thing +2/+2. And of course this will be training, and I would be dealing a bunch of damage here too. I mean, this might be the... because this is gonna represent a lot of damage now. So it's basically a lava axe, but it's a big lava axe. So otherwise I'm not doing any damage right now. Whereas I'm gonna deal like 10 damage. And I can still play this thing. So yeah, let's do it. Actually 9. I'm unable to count. but it doesn't matter. Main idea is that this will still have 4 power so that they don't have a good block. They have to take the 9, and now I have the Heron of Hope and the Runebound Wolf, which is of course so far only going to deal 1 damage with the ability, but also I have a bunch of wolf draws available, and even the 1 damage can matter, although they might have the 6/6 now, which is going to bring them back to 13, but that's why I have the Pious Pawn in my deck, that I can get that outcast. It's a 5/4, not a 6/6. Well, they can start drawing cards with this, but if they attack with both of them, it's not so great for them. I of course don't have any attacks here. Don't know why I played the land. I guess I just wanted to have this lifelink activation up for some reason. Well, whatever. That happened. So I basically I'm clocking for 3 per turn. But they also can attack now, but I will double block the Wolf King outcast with the trainee and the infantry. That's like the easiest double block there is. Although if they attack with the cadet as well, problem is they might have a pump spell. I don't mind losing the trainee and the infantry because this gives the counter to the Heron of Hope, and this thing just, is a good +2/+2 aura still available. Okay, they actually choose to draw cards, go to 7 and lose the thing that could have allowed them to draw cards if they get to stabilize. So they need another Hero's Downfall for sure. I'm actually very happy they choose to use the Felstinger in that way. Okay, there is another wolf. So not much to do here other than try to see if they have the Hero's Downfall or a Witch's Web. No, I mean, I know there's an attack with everything available here, because this only trades with the guy, so I would sacrifice one of my guys to push some damage through. But I wanna first see if this is gonna go through or not. Crushing Canopy, okay. So now I have the option to ping for 1, but that's a bad option, so let's do this instead. I can start pinging for 2, plus the 4 power first striker is actually going to be able to trade here. Unless they don't play a spell. This becomes a 6/5 in that case. Well, in that case I just start using my Runebound Wolf. And I have here good block still available, if they choose to start attacking. I mean, Stinger will be just blocked with the Drogskull infantry. If they would attack with the Outcast, I think the block would still be the trainee. And okay, so they have also the Hero's Downfall. So they basically had all the answers they needed here for now. But well, and they gain even 2 life here. Well, definitely not great anymore. But I can still. I mean, they might have even more than 2 of these in the deck. Or they just drew 2 of them in the top 13 cards, but... Okay, let's see. It's not such an easy block anymore, because the Death Touchers mean that my guys are not going to push through. Well, they didn't care about it. Sadly, I have no spells to play, so it's going to become a night. Yeah, this seems like I'm gonna lose now. They had the... I had threats, but they had answer for each of my threats. So... Yep. Now they're gonna start attacking. I'm no longer gonna block that because they would simply draw a card. I take the 6 here. I can jump block it at some point, but I really need... Yeah, more creatures. Yeah, this is bad. They have stuff. I have nothing. Alright. Well, that's pretty much game over now. I no longer can, because I have to start jump blocking. I have no way to attack through them. Yeah. The Crushing Canopy is not going to have a lot of answers in my targets in my deck, because I have a lot. 1 flyer, I think, and 1 thing that can be an enchantment. So, and they have actually enough cards to play a random Ripsaw there. They did draw cards in this game though, with the Felstinger. So that's the reason they have all this stuff available. But there's no point continuing. I of course lose. This is going to be a 4/4, potentially trample, and even if it doesn't trample, who cares? They have the 6/5 there. Yep. So Bloody Betrayal. Is that gonna be something that's gonna help me here? I don't think I wanna cut anything though. Nurturing Presence, the Flyer. Sanctify. I did cut the knife actually. Should I put it back in now? Don't really know. I don't think so. This stance is gonna be good against their deck. Alright, let's keep the same deck. I think I like this enough. Let's just try to maybe curve out and maybe dodge some of their removal. Well, I don't have any way to dodge them except for the Adamant Will, but maybe I just hope they don't draw quite that many of that stuff. Alright, well this is... Oof. The arm is already making this hand basically a 6-card hand, so let's mulligan. Alright, well, it's a keep, but not a good one. I need to draw my creatures now, because I'm gonna lose the late game against that deck. I won't be beating them in the late game. So I guess this just this is just how it's gonna go now. Yeah, that's pretty annoying. I mean, I just put a land in on the bottom of the deck and 2 first draws were still lands, so I kept a 2 spell, 4 land hand. First 2 draws were lands, so yeah, it's gonna be hard because I know they have the late game. I mean, they can even. This is the most annoying thing. They actually have time to do that. Now I'm very happy I drew my flyer, but they have answers for that. But anyway, they can afford to do a turn 3 pointed discussion on the draw because I missed a 2-drop. Imagine if I had a 2-drop into Suitor. This would have transformed and they would be just in trouble here. Now all they need is to kill my guys one by one because I know they have the removal and then I have basically nothing to show for it. I mean, for the tempo advantage I have had here. But it's still not over. I mean, they might not have their removal spells. That's at least 2 Heroes Downfall and 1. Okay, so I get to transform this guy. There's that. And 1 Crushing Canopy. Oh man, this land is just so super bad. Don't think it's the Qatar's turn. I need to use it on a turn when they don't have a good block available. Now they do. Sadly, they're gonna attack their back, but I guess I'll still activate this thing twice because there's nothing else for me to use my mana for. So I will attack here for 9 damage and get a bunch of life here back, but then they will also get bunch of life back. Now I do have the Arm the Qatar, so I don't know. It might be okay, but let's see if they have the removal spell. They go to 7 now. I go to 25. So I of course wish I had a 3rd creature. Imagine if I did. The Arm the Qatars could be really doing good stuff. Now they are gonna go to back to 9 at least, unless they even enhance this somehow. But this thing has Trample, so if I give it more power... Well, let's see. Maybe I find one of the Aberrage on that thing. But it's more like them having removal than me having removal on their guys, because if they remove my creatures, I have nothing to deal damage with. Okay, so are they gonna actually go to 5 here? Yes, they are. Now, is this gonna be a... No, this is a 4-3 now, absolutely. Yeah, so they go to 9. But is this gonna... Imagine if that was like an Adamant Will here. I think that would have been enough. But let's count. Let's count the damage. Because I can deal 5 plus... this has 1 activation. That's plus 2. This is plus 5. Well, that is... plus 7. 10. That's 12 damage. Minus 2. This tramples. That's 10. I should be winning. I'm gonna just in case the auto tapper does something stupid, I do like this. So this thing has trample, so this should be lethal now. I hope it is. It is because of the activated ability this thing has. And the fact that it has trample. They're gonna go to -1. Okay, well that, with these lands I had here, I mean, I had to be lucky of them not drawing the answers. Or maybe if they did, they just were a bit greedy here. Because look at this, 1, 2, 3. Really? There's nothing in Excel. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 lands, 3 spells. And I still won it because they were the correct spells to deal with this situation. Jeez. So I guess the Amtikatars is my MVP now. I wouldn't have won that otherwise. Hey, what is this? That's a 9/8 mana based deck. If this the hand, if one of these was a mountain, I would have a turn 2 upgrade up just in case and turn through Suitor, other kind of cool stuff. I can't keep this though. Well, this is a lot better now. And this time it's not so easy to lose the Amtikatars, but what are my options? I'm gonna go with 2, 3, 4, no, 1, 2, 3 creatures. So I could risk missing my third redrop here. I don't want to do that. If I knew the matchup that the Amtikatars is likely to be very good, I maybe would lose the planes, but now I don't feel like it. Especially because I'm on the play, I don't want to risk missing my 3-drop because this is such a nice curve now. If the opponent misses their 2-drop, I can actually transform this right away on turn 3 by playing this. Well, that was... forget about that. Anyway, this is still fine. Not only didn't they miss their 2-drop, they already also had a 1-drop that can get the Ministry. It doesn't matter too much though. Are they going to do something to infantry? I don't think this mana does much. They are not going to use an Alchemist's Retrieval just to push through 1 damage. That would be weird. Okay, so that means Adamant will, doesn't it? Or it could be a Piercing Light. Anyway, I think I'm going to do it because this is going to be a creature, an enchantment in my graveyard. Yeah, that was a fine trade. I definitely don't mind it at all. Okay, so this is good. I even have options here. Now this fast vigilance means I never get to transform the Suitor on the next turn, no matter what. I'm not going to attack with 2 creatures because this won't be able to attack. So I think I'll, in that case, do play the Menace guy to be able to deal damage more reliably. Okay, that cannot block me. That's good. Lantern Flare, that will be nice. It's funny how seldom the cleave option is good, even if you play red-white, because it's so hard to... you need such a large amount of mana to use the cleave, but I guess it's a fine option to be having there available. So anyway, let's just do this, because I'm not gonna attack into the Officiant, and they can't block the Villager with the Flyer, so this is just, because of the Menace, just gonna be a lethal, not lethal quite, but a completely unblockable attack. And next turn I have the Suitor up. Maybe. Up for transformation, I mean. Let's see if they can deal with that. I mean, I'm very happy to see the Spirit because I'm the one raising here, and this just can't block. I have what, 1 flyer in the deck. So now they play a Repository Scarp. They can sacrifice the Officiant if they really want to, or maybe even the Spirit if they want to back the Adamant Will, but it's not such a great thing when the opponent knows about it. Alright, so with the Lantern Flare, I think the Scarp is gonna go in front of the Suitor, but because it has Trample, I will simply use the Lantern Flare and still trample over. I'm not gonna do it first. I want to see if they are gonna do something crazy like double block the Villager. Maybe I should let them have the option to do so. I'm gonna pump the Trampler, because then they might be tempted to double block the Villager, and then it's going to be good Lantern Flare for me. Oh, maybe not. Let's do this. I don't think it actually matters that much. This is good now. Let them block if they want to. I think the Scarp is gonna block the Dancer, and it's kind of the same outcome. It is the more dangerous creature out of these two, so why would they double block the Fearful Villager and have some risk of things getting messed up? They really don't want to take 6 here. Oh, they actually chose that line that is very good for me. Why would they do that? I have 3 creatures, so I don't get it. This is insane. And I have still the one, I can play the 3/3 post combo because this mana this thing adds doesn't remove from the pool until turn changes. Jeez, look at this board. They have a creature that cannot block any of these. They need mass removal here basically. Now I don't have double red up for this thing, so I can't use the pump ability, but I can just actually they can't even, they need something else to be able to trade here because my guys aren't. My guys are actually 3 toughness and 1/1 double striker isn't going to be enough. Okay, well let's do this untap the rallier here. So they have a fierce retribution, but I have 3 guys. I mean, killing one of them is just not so great for them. They are in blocks now currently. They can have Adamant Will number 2, or they have their retribution, which is fine. And I have this thing. It's a 2/2 creature. The Heron of Hope would still be good because I can make it, of course, bigger with the Minister and the Rockskull Infantry. So even though this can block it, it wouldn't be so great for them. And here, 4/2. This also showcases how the Shield Passer is so miserable on defense. Now, I'll just attack with my ground guys, and I'm going to pump the Menace guy. Because that's the most likely to go through. Plus, if they want to double block it, then they will lose both of those. So, seems easy. I actually should have maybe untapped the Traveling Minister because I don't need the blocker for anything. I would have just preferred to get another point of life post-combat, but so be it. Now they can block the Rallier with the Shield Passer, they can trade with the Wolf with the Twin Blade Geist, but that still is gonna... Okay, they just don't want to use the Geist for anything. That's totally fine for me. I'm stuck at 3, but it doesn't really matter because I have drawn cheap cards. Yeah, they just conceded there. So blue-white... don't really know. They have like an Unholy Officiant, they have an Estwald, Shield Passer, and then the Repository Scarb. So it doesn't seem like it's a has a very focused theme in the deck. This is good when you have trainers, or I mean train guys. This is the trainer, of course. In that case, this if you got something nice to return, and Adamant Will might not be the... Well, I guess Fierce Retribution is. So I'm just trying to figure out how good it is to end the festivities, because often it is good against blue-white, but they have now at one toughness creature here. I didn't see any flying tokens here. Sanctify. I just don't think I care about any of that stuff, and I like enough everything I have here available. So I'll just use the same deck and maybe learn more about the matchup before sideboarding into a potential game 3, but let's hope it doesn't even get there. Well, this time I'm keeping this opponent at least mulligans here, but I have had a nice amount of these hands which don't have both colors available, but I have been also lucky in drawing them. Officiant again, sure. Well, it's mostly a thing that does something when they have 5 mana available. That's gonna be a little while. Well, they can go 1-drop, 2-drop here, and but I can gain life here in the meanwhile. So They are dealing 3, but I can gain 2 per turn. Definitely the mountain is now quite important to draw ASAP, or at least a white card. White castable spell, I mean. Yeah, that's not really good stuff at all, is it? I have to gamble on the Adamant Will resolving here, I think. This won't get trained, not now. Problem is if I attack, they might not block. I kind of wouldn't mind actually getting rid of the Officiant, maybe just by using the Valorous stance giving me indestructible. They might want to do that because I get this life gain here. It's so risky to let them untap and then try to make some block with the Adamant Will. I'm gonna actually do it like this, and maybe they do block. And I will use the stance especially because that archetype doesn't have a lot of 4 toughness creatures. No, sadly. Now I hope they do play a 4 toughness creature because otherwise I miss the entire turn. But yeah, this is of course just unfortunate to not hit the red mana here. Yeah, that's now gonna be good. Alright, so yep, that's just no good. This can't be beaten now that they can always make it indestructible, so the Adamant Will doesn't help. And I'm just getting 3 from the air. And well, I just don't have enough here. I didn't really learn much, so there is a Grief Rider, so maybe another reason to consider the end the festivities, but what would be the card I'm gonna cut? It could even be the Valorous stance actually. Okay, let's try that. It doesn't seem that good. As a trick to give your own guy indestructible, it's not really... I mean, if that's the only mode that's realistically available, it's not gonna be good. It doesn't even work against Adamant Will that I saw from them, because the Adamant Will, after it has resolved, of course, makes the creature indestructible, so the destroy part won't work. Alright, so if this hand... Well, I mean, it's a one-lander. At least now I have a proper hand here, so I'm gonna keep this and lose the Adamant Will. I go 1, 2, 3 now. Just like in some earlier game. They seem to have the Officiant, but at least now I do have my 2-2 here, so they can't even attack with it, nor block with it. And if they have Adamant Will there, I'm gonna counter with a Lantern Flare. But it is kind of annoying because often when you have a Minister into 2-drop into Suitor on the play, if the opponent misses 2-drop, I get to do the transform right away. That's interesting. Okay, so now I'm gonna, if they're gonna take the risk here, now, I get to punish them. I have 2 creatures. The Lantern Flare will be a good response into Adamant Will. I don't think they're gonna take the risk, but they are. Well. So be it. So now if they... Well, they basically must not have any creature here now. I can't attack with the Minister, of course. Yep, not even into a 1-1 because that thing has double strike. So, let's first see if they're willing to make the trade. I don't care about the wolf enough to, not offer the trade here, even though they get the, the double strike all around in the graveyard. But yeah, this seems like the opponent is gonna stabilize. They have actually, even though I got the 2 for 1, I did mulligan here myself. So it's just a parity here in terms of cards. I guess I hope they have now the Shield Passer because that's not interesting. Okay. Yeah, I'm not attacking into that, even though I could offer the trade here. Because I wanna train the trainee once, so I'm not going to just attack. Next turn I can attack with the Suitor and the trainee. And they will be I will transform the suitor, and of course this will get the counter. But yeah, they can make this into double striker, which means I need my upgrade. They did not do that though. Well, it's still not that great because they do have the 3 cards. This can trade off, and they have 3 cards in their hand. Although this is at least helping me a bit. It doesn't really matter. They don't need to do any kind of double blocking. They can block both of them. So what I'm doing here is just this and then this, and at least I have 4 mana available for the activation. So I can push some amount of damage through, but that might not matter too much because of course the opponent is at 20 here. So I'm assuming they will go for the double blocks here. And then because this thing has Trumble, and I have no other use for my mana, so let's do that. And I will get to move the counter sadly on the Minister, but at least the Minister is going to be a 3 power thing with the ceremonial knife, so it can matter. But I don't like the fact the opponent is still having these 4 cards in their hand. At least my extra lands will be redrawn into something better thanks to the knife. Right. Well, I mean, most likely they have something, but it doesn't really affect how I do this turn because I can just play the infantry. That's gonna be killed by a piercing light. Sadly, I don't have the stuff for that, but okay, there's Cry to bottom. Yeah, they will have these. I guess I need some of my removal. Well, I have used one of them, but upgrade, because they might have some nasty double striker. Let's first just, yeah, read the Twin Blade invocation when they finally get to play some creatures. Alright, so now if they have also Fierce Retribution, I don't, it's gonna be hard to beat them. Yeah, because they just drew 4 lands and rest spells, and I didn't even get my own Adamant Will there as a response. Imagine how good that would have been. Now I do have the +2/+2 aura available, but they just play a 5th land and start playing 5 drops, because that's what I assume they're having. Yeah, this is miserable. And it's not like, I mean, we both have the same amount of lands. I have like 6 here. Yeah, that's really... well, I mean... I can kill the 1/1s that eventually come, but this is gonna be a 6/6. I mean, this it's 6 damage dealing thing because of the 3 double strike stuff here. Yeah. Well, I need an upgrade. Upgrade it is, and then I'm happy. They have multiple officers there. Okay, there's something I can play now, and but yeah, they're gonna clock me with in the air. I need an upgrade for this flyer. It's really tough. Yeah, sure. Okay, they're really clogging me now. I'm dead in a couple of attacks. I'm not quite dead on the next turn, but I'm gonna be dead on the turn after that. And the opponent is at 17. At least they milled a land from me. Doesn't help much when I drew another one. Jeez. I actually need to... I'm dead. It's just... that is just how it goes. I need to do this. I need to make it first strike so I can actually... connect. I had 2 attacks with the knife, but the first one was met with the piercing light, second one with the fierce retribution. I didn't even get the blood, and now it's just too late. I'm taking 10 in the air and 1 in the ground, maybe even 2. So I'm going to either 3 or 2 life here, and the opponent is at 12. So this is really bad. With the impulse, I think I should play the land now. But how do I mean, if my impulse finds an upgrade for the Heron Blessed Geist and then what? It's not gonna work. This game is over. Well, at least none of them was an upgrade, but problem is I don't think I have anything for the Swarm. Maybe my own flyer, but I don't have mana to cast this impulse and the upgrade and the flyer. And the opponent still is having 2 cards in their hand. That's it. Alright, well, the 2-for-1 in the early stage didn't matter because they had more business than I anyway. Let's get a starting hand with both color producers available, shall we? I'm tired to mulligan into 6. Because in the previous game, if I had access to one more card, that could have made the difference of me being able to actually connect with the knife. Alright, this is a good one. I'm on the draw, opponent mulliganed. I have only a 2-drop so far, but I'm gonna get the Celebrants, and then this is of course going to be usually at least a relevant card. Opponent kept 6 cards after mulliganing. 1-drop, Epicure. No. Yes, no. So what's that then? End the festivities, main deck. Well, if they play that, I can just discard a mountain to save it from that. Yes, that it is. Interesting choice in the main deck. I mean, they mulliganed and they traded one of their spells to one of my lands. Not necessarily what they want to be doing. And I'll just play the Rallier. And then next turn I have the knife up. If nothing better comes up. I can kill this on with the stance on their turn, but I'm imagining a red-green, especially any green deck will have a better target for the stance. Besides, this thing is only a 2-2 on my turn. Alright, so there's a Fearful Villager. They are going to double. Wait a second. Militia. Well, let's see what I draw. So I did draw the Celebrant's mana for the next turn, which means that I don't care if my Fleeting Spirit is going to die now. Because I could use the stance defensively, but I am more interested in... Because I don't get any kind of double... I mean, I don't get any value out of the... It's a 1-for-1. Let's say they double block the Rallier. I can make it indestructible. It trades with Fearful Villager. Not such a big deal. I'd rather maybe just have the knife here. And then if they choose to... they probably put the wolf on the spirit. But if they double block the Rallier, I'm fine with that. I'll kill the Villager and get the blood token. And still have the stance up for something actually big. Oh, they choose to do exactly nothing. So they are... Interesting. I'm not gonna throw away the planes, by the way. I'm gonna play the Celebrants next turn, and I want to have the land for that. There will be a moment later to actually use my blood tokens. I'm gonna get 2 of them more. I wonder why they didn't block the wolf with the wolf on the 3-1, because it's not like they can deal exactly 4, and that's if they can push through the Rallier, which is a 4-3 blocker on the wolf. So why wouldn't they block the spirit? It can't activate the first strike until I have 3 cards in my graveyard, which I obviously don't have. That's a target for the stance. Now I can get maybe some value from their potential double blocks. Okay, I don't need the land now. Oh, but sadly, of course, I can't attack with the Rallier alone. because it says so. And I'm not gonna offer the 3-1 to this thing. I know I could use the Valaro stance and then attack, but that's just stupid. I can't even play any other spell. Much better idea is to do this and chill for a turn, and next turn I have good attacks. And maybe I even draw a land so I can play the Heron of Hope too. This actually seems very good for me right now. They might not play a spell though, but that was wrong. Because if they make both of these transform, but well, that's not gonna happen now. The Pious Pawn is going to be good. It's gonna deal 3 to my Militia Rallier. So I guess I'll... But is there... And I can save the Fleeting Spirit by discarding the planes, which I would do. So I think I will attack with the Rallier and the Celebrants. If they want to block with the Pious Pawn, well, first of all, they need to block the Celebrants with 2 guys. Well, I will see what happens. There's no point doing anything now. I'm just... whatever. Just see what happens now. They are tapped out. They have no cards in their hand. But the Pious Pawn is gonna offer some kind of a 2-for-1, and they might get... yeah, they can put now this Bowback Wolf. Okay, I'm very happy if they block the Rallier so that the Rallier is gonna die in the combat. Because the point is there that this Rallier is the best target for the Pious Pawn's ability now. So this is really good. But they can't block the... They need another blocker there. So this is now really... Well, it's not as good as it could have been. Because now I can kill the spawn first. But it will deal 3 to the Rallier and these things will survive. I can now let the Celebrants go. I like that idea maybe more. So if I just trade here, and I could make this indestructible. I still could kill this with Valaro Stance and eat the Raconteur for free, but in that case this Rallier will die before it gets to trade with the Villager. I don't like that. And this 3 damage will point at the Fleeting Spirit, which I just, you know, discard the planes. And I can kill the Raconteur later on. Play the Heron of Hope this turn. They will have the 2-2 to my flyer. Yeah. I think that's what I want to do. At least the Fleeting Spirit will have now some first strike activations up. It's a shame to lose the land now that I have so many blood tokens. But I think if the opponent doesn't get too lucky here, I will be in a reasonable shape. Because of I can just get rid of it. And this is gonna only be a 4-4 in the night anyway, but still I'd rather kill it because the Fleeting Spirit in fact now can't be blocked with the Wolf. Well, it can be, but thanks to first strike, I won't lose the Spirit and the Wolf would die on, because it is going to be of course a 2-2 on my turn. So they flip it to the knight. Upgrade is gonna be good. But I think it's just safer now to see what happens when I try to kill this guy. And now I need 1 mana for this activation, which I can do. So I could use the upgrade, but that's really that's just stupid. Because if I now can kill I either deal 6 to them or kill the Wolf for free, basically, with the Fleeting Spirit ability. Unless they have a pump spell, but... let's see if they have. They don't have. So now they are in trouble. And I'm at 17, and with his blood tokens, any kind of flood that happens is gonna be negated by... Okay, that's a good one, but sadly they can't even... Well, they can actually attack, but because they're gonna go to 1. And actually... they must attack because I can move around the knife on the Fleeting Spirit. And I can use a blood token to have a 3rd card in my graveyard. So I would have a first strike for power creature. This could only jump block, so they don't want to do that. Now this can be on the next turn. they have the 7 mana, so it can be an 8/8, but I'm at 13, so not really a big deal. I don't have mana to get the lifelink. I'll just play the wolf, and this should mean that I will win on the next turn. How about if they draw the 6/6 that gains them 4 life? Yeah, that would be bad for me. Then I might have some trouble. I not only might, but actually would have. But they can't attack with this guy anyway. Okay. I mean, if that was the case. Yep, well, that's not. Now it is all over. No blocks, no blocks. I will go to 5 and I will win. So let's just say, if say they draw the 6/6, which gains them 4 life, because this was only a 4/4, they go to 5. So they can't attack with this thing, because then they could only block one of my ground guys, and Flyer plus the remaining ground guy would be lethal. So I would be at 13 life in that case, and I could only attack. Well, I guess I could make the spirit into a... well, it would require more calculation than there is reason to now do it. Just such a hypothetical scenario. I'll get my own Pyre Spawn though, and yep. I mean, this Bloody Betrayal is kind of interesting. Stealing the big thing which they might have, stealing their Pyre Spawn, but it is still quite inconsistent. The Weary Prisoner might be... well, it's not that good. I have to cut a card anyway, and that card will be... I kind of like the Qatar still. It seems to be coming down to a race situation. It is not so good on the draw though, but it is one way to push through. Yeah, I think I'll keep that. Maybe one of the Runebound Wolves could go. Yeah, the Lightning Wolf is really not a good one, but I kind of want to have some 4-drop still. So that is 16 creatures. Kind of like the knife, although now that when I have the Pyre Spawn, maybe the knife is not that good. Okay, I will cut the knife now. I don't want to cut the creatures, especially if I keep the Qatars in the deck. I need to have enough creatures to make it a worthwhile spell. Okay, well, once again I get to mulligan. This time it's just an honest 0 lander. Opponent kept 7. Okay. I have I have one double caster white. It is the Qatars. I think I'd rather keep the mountains around, because I'm not going to cast the arm anytime soon. Of course I drew the mountain here, but it's still fine. I mean, I have the trainee, not the greatest 2-drop when you have no friends for it, but the Adamant Will can maybe it can help me get rid of something. Do they have a forest or what? Mountain. Okay, they missed the land drop, and I drew the amazing thing here. Now I can actually train this guy. Okay, they really need to draw a land right now, or things are gonna get ugly otherwise. They can't even attack into this unless they represent the Surge Strike. Okay, now with this thing, I think game is gonna be very close to over now. Yeah. I mean, I guess, well, I don't know the starting hand. It might be a keep, but 2 mountains in a 2-color deck with only 1 castable, I'm not sure that to keep at 7 cards. On the... okay, they drew the 3rd land. They need to have at least something they can cast for 3. Of course, it doesn't help them because of the upgrade I have. Now the question is, am I gonna actually... okay, I'm going to get value from my spells. I could have used the upgrade there, but there's no point because this is gonna get me a 2 for 1. This is gonna get me a 2 for 1. Unless they take 8. With an upgrade or Adamat Will. I like the Adamat Will now as an aggressive damage dealer, and I use the upgrade like this. Because I might be interested in the +2 damage I can deal with my attackers. Okay, now they get the green. That could be too late, but we'll see. This won't be training unless I go pre-attack Adamant Will. That's a possibility if it's really going to be good for me, because I could make this into... I mean, I actually have lethal here if I do that. Kind of force them to... Because I could keep the Rich Wolf, for example, +2/+2. It will train this, that's total 11, but of course they can now just jump block. And there's no really point. I'm just gonna... I mean, they can either take a lot of damage now or... So this is now 10 damage, so no point using that thing. And then the infantry here and the Pious Pawns as any target. Well, they can have life gaining the 6 drop, but I mean, if they don't, this is just gonna kill them one way or the other. Not that I'm gonna even need the Pious Pawn, because I have just lethal attack now, so even without the Adamant Will, but yep, 2 blockers against these won't be enough. Alright, well, I mean, I had some mana issues too in this event. The opponent had now, I got the 2 match wins. This deck definitely wasn't as good as the previous one in the Premier Draft. That was just an amazing deck, so I had to run weird stuff like multiple Lightning Wolves, not great, and the Rich Wolf and the Runebound Wolves weren't exactly that great here either. This, in the end, I had the 2 upgrades and the Alluring Suitor and the Falconrod Celebrants from red. Most of the other red was just like a random playables, not really that amazing. But that was good enough to get the 2 wins. I'm happy about that. Claim the prize, and next draft will be a Premier Draft again. Well, not again, this was a traditional, but the previous one was a Premier one. Thank you for watching, and bye bye.